Hi, welcome to Zgadgetreview. On Monday, the fierce fight between Apple and Epic got underway. They are currently locked in a court battle for billions of dollars. So to give you a refresher on why Epic Games and Apple are currently in court, Epic Games is known for Fortnite. Fortnite is a wildly successful battle royale game. There is really no way that you could have missed that Fortnite exists. Fortnite isn't the only thing that Epic Games has ever done. You could be forgiven for thinking that. Epic Games also has the Unreal Engine, which is used across the gaming industry to make games. They publish the original Gears of War games. So they do have a track record of a company that has existed for a while and has done things in the industry. Fortnite is a free-to-play game, meaning that you can get the game without paying a penny for the game. But the way Epic makes money out of the game is by selling you things within the game. Weapons, cosmetics, and their so-called battle pass. You can play Fortnite on consoles, PC, or even your phone. And your phone is where the issue came from with iOS, which is the operating system for iPhones. Epic tried to circumvent the rules of the App Store on iPhone by sending people that wanted to make a purchase in the game outside to their own payment service in order for them to get a bigger cut of that purchase. One of the requirements of the App Store is that if you're selling anything through your app, has to go through Apple's store, and they take a cut of 30% out of that sale. Epic said, we don't want to pay you the 30%. We want to continue having our game being hosted on your app store, but we are going to have all of the sales that we make in the game go through our own payment system. Of course, Apple was like, hell no, that's not going to happen. If you're going to have your game in our store, you're going to pay our fees. And drama ensued. Now, this all happened pretty much on the same day. They tried to pull the same stunt on Android. Android also kicked them off their store because Android didn't allow people to do third-party payments within their store either. It's something that all companies that have an app store do. And the reason is because that's how they make more money. They not only make money when they sell you the product, but they also make money when you buy extra things using that app because it's in their store. One is, yes, you are hosting this product on your store. And because you are doing that, you are entitled to a cut of the sale of that product because it was in your store. But do you still then have any entitlement to anything else that specific app might sell once somebody buys it? Some people say yes, some people say no. And it's kind of a tricky thing because, yes, I am 100% in agreement that if you are selling your product through a specific storefront, that you pay a fee. That infrastructure where your product is being presented costs money to maintain. Servers cost money to maintain. The people that monitor the store cost money to pay. So it makes sense that you will pay for that. But once you have passed that purchase and you're able to maintain your app and thrive let's stick with games, your game, wouldn't you at that point be entitled of getting the money that you are earning by having brought these people to your game? Because the initial purchase was helped by whatever store you're placed in, and 100% makes sense. But then it is your job as a game developer to maintain that game and make sure that people continue coming to play that game and make sure that your game is engaging for the game to thrive and have good reviews and other people buying it and all these things. You are subsidizing by selling other things within the game, especially if it's a free-to-play game. Is at that point that store entitled to getting a cut of that going forward for the lifetime of your app or game, in this case, being in that store? Let me give you an example. If a TV is sold at Best Buy, and then once a TV is purchased by you, Best Buy, of course, gets a cut for having sold a TV at their store. But then when that TV got to your house, and because everybody has smart TV nowadays, once you started purchasing apps or making purchases within that ecosystem of that TV, if Best Buy said to LG, hey, LG, you owe me 30% of every single thing that anybody purchases through your smart TV platform because that TV was purchased at my store, what do you think LG will say? If you see it from that point of view, it makes sense that Epic is fighting and other developers are fighting and complaining that these app stores aren't entitled to the money that they're making from the game once the game has been sold. The other argument could be, well, without my app store, without my man hours, without all the work that I put into creating this environment for you to be able to put your game on my store, your game wouldn't be as successful as it is right now. Because of that, I am entitled to revenue from your game for the lifetime of your game, as long as your game is on my store. So that's how this whole thing got started. Epic was planning on doing this from the get-go, right? There are, for example, new information that has come out because of this lawsuit that Tom Sweeney, who is the president of Epic, contacted Phil Spencer to try to have them make free-to-play games free without being attached to Xbox Live, for that announcement to take place the same day that they were planning on launching their own payment service and creating this whole thing on Apple. Tim Sweeney to Phil Spencer, Wednesday, August 2020. Hi Phil, long ago we talked optimistically about the possibility of subscription-free multiplayer on Xbox. PlayStation requires subscription for multiplayer, but extends free-to-play games including Fortnite. So as we know now, Xbox Live has gone free for free-to-play games and multiplayer games. Less than a year ago, it was required that if you wanted to pay multiplayer games, whether they were free-to-play or not, that you had to have an Xbox Live subscription. Of course, this was sent before that change happened. If this is coming, please consider the possibility of timing the program to support Fortnite Season 14 launch on August 27. This launch will follow the confidential Fortnite Mega Drop 20% price that's coming in mid-August, and will be our biggest and best Fortnite season thanks to a huge collaboration with Disney/Marvel. August 27th is the day that the new season came out, and that's the same day that they decided to circumvent Apple's App Store's rules. Epic has certain plans for August that will provide an extraordinary opportunity to highlight the value proposition of consoles and PCs, in contrast to mobile platforms, and to onboard new console users. While I can't share details with any third party at this point, I give you Epic's assurance that our efforts will be positive and supportive of Microsoft, Xbox, and Windows. I realize it is incomplete information and you have a big ship that's slow to turn. So the specific ask is, please keep in mind this possibility for August 27th and expect events throughout August to draw the specific opportunity into focus. So as we can see, this of course was planned. And of course it was planned, right? It didn't happen by mistake. It wasn't like, we're going to try this and see what happens. They knew something was going to happen. And what they were trying to do is they didn't want to go at it alone, pretty much, and wanted to have backup. And they were trying to recruit other big players like Xbox to stand with them on August 27th once this whole thing of them getting kicked out of the App Store happened. On August 6, 2020 at 9:20 p.m., Phil's personal reply, I owe you a bunch of things and I am behind. I apologize for that, just a lot going on, but that's not an excuse. You obviously seen our Samsung announce, and now our back and forth with Apple. So this is when they announced Game Pass that was coming to Samsung phones, and also when Apple came out and said that they weren't going to allow Game Pass on their platform because they couldn't assure that games met the requirements to be in the App Store. Because Apple said that they had to review every game that was going to come to Game Pass, which is complete and utter BS. The reason why they did it is because they couldn't charge money for every game that came to Game Pass. They could only charge you money for the monthly fee that you will have to pay. They will get a cut of that, of course. But anything else, they couldn't get money from. So they came up with that excuse in order to not allow Xbox to be on their App Store. And of course, because Microsoft Apple history, At the highest levels of MS, we are committed to pushing on these policies and continuing to expand our console platform capabilities. You can chime in as you feel comfortable, but I did want to just let you know that I have your point on xCloud on other consoles. Haven't given up. F2P outside of Gold, we will get there, and I want to partner with you. And our store entitlement ideas as items I'm going to review with you to make progress. I am committed to that, just behind. Hope you're well, Phil. And then Twin Sweeney replied to that. Totally understood. I gather there's a lot going on at Microsoft nowadays. Anyway, you'll enjoy the upcoming fireworks show. So again, this email shows that this was premeditated, that this was a power play by Epic. And there is a few things that we can read into this, right? Epic went specifically after Apple. They had the lawsuit because they got kicked out of the store and all that. The thing is that they also got kicked out of the Android store around the same time because they tried to put the same stand at the Android store. But also before that, Epic refused to go into the Android store. I don't know if you remember this. Fortnite launched with Galaxy phones. So much so that if you bought the Galaxy phone, you got a Samsung Galaxy themed skin that you could get for free and all these things. And it was an exclusive deal with Samsung because you could not get Fortnite on the Android store because they didn't want to pay the fees that Android wanted to charge them. So what they did is they said, well, you can go ahead and sideload the game onto your phone. And they provided instructions on how to do that. But that's how Epic got to try to get around Android. And the reason why they didn't sue Android is because on Android, you can't sideload things onto the phone. So the argument from Epic is, since you cannot sideload things into an iPhone, therefore this is a monopoly. And I guess in a way you could say that it is a monopoly because of the way how Apple has created their business. Their business is centered around an ecosystem, around something that Apple controls 100% as tightly as they can. And in court documents, they said this is something that consumers want. I'm not so sure about that. I don't think that every consumer wants to have to pay $10 for an app that they can get for free on Android. And I've seen that many, many times where you have an app that costs money on the App Store that is 100% free on Android. I personally don't agree with what Epic is doing. If you decided to do business with someone and you accepted the terms of that deal, then stick with the terms of that deal. If you don't like it, then you should figure out a way to do something different. It's not the right thing to do. It's not, hey, I don't like what you're doing, so I'm gonna go and throw a tantrum because I didn't like what you did. That whole thing that Epic is doing this for other developers and stuff because they are the bigger one that can take, fight Apple because they have the means to do it, is BS. If developers still put in their products on the App Store, Apple won't have any other choice but to change the rules of their market. But that's not going to happen because even though Android has a bigger reach worldwide, people on an app store spend more money than on Android. And that's just a fact. Apple can get away with charging $4 for an app that's free on Android, and people will pay for it. I disagree with what Epic is doing. At the same time, I disagree with the way Apple runs their business. I am literally split in the middle. I agree with some things that Apple is doing. I agree with some things that Epic is doing. But this is exactly how the world works. Nothing is 100%. There's always a gray area. What do you think was going to happen with this lawsuit? Who do you think is right? Who do you think is wrong? Are you split in the middle like I am? Let me know in the comment section. That's it for me. Go ahead and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Go ahead and hit that bell so you can be alerted every time we have new videos. And thank you very much for watching.